I'd like to share a note about one strategy for planting trees that may be compelling to deer to eat, and hiding them with other vegetation as a low-cost and low-tech way to hopefully protect them to get up into the canopy. Let me share some notes. Here at the main 6-acre edible acres site just north of Trumansburg, we've been planting for 10 years with all sorts of shrubs and trees extensively throughout the landscape. By and large, we go for trees that we've found to be pretty deer resilient. We've got heavy pressure here, so we lean pretty strong into the pawpaws and the juglans, the walnut family plants. But then we also have interest in plants like persimmon, which certainly have some interest to deer, and for example, plums, which I know for sure the deer like to eat. In front of me, you may say, well, all I see is a jumble of weeds, and I would say, yes, that's true. And if you can't see the plums in there, and I have a hard time even seeing them, can the deer? In fact, right in front of me there are 2 plum trees. There's a green one and one that has a slight purple coloration. You can probably see them if you relax your eyes or if you know what you're looking for. What you may be seeing more than anything are stinging nettles, or devil's beggar's tick, also known as Biden's. Weeds, air quote. These plants do not appeal to deer. And in this particular spot, this spring, we had stinging nettles that I planted here in the past that were a nice, healthy thicket. They're all throughout here. We harvest them for food and medicine. We dry them. We love working with them. We're happy to have them in the landscape. Deer never push through nettles and never try to eat them. And so this spring, having some extra plums that I wanted to find a place to plant, I snuck one right in there. And that purple foliage is a young plum tree, put on some growth, not a tremendous amount. And first reaction a lot of folks might have seeing that is, well, how the heck is that plum ever going to be able to push up through the nettles and become a tree? Well, you'd be surprised how better adapted at this game trees are than you might think. They've evolved coming up through shrubs in early succession and herbaceous layer. There's a whole wide open, well, pretty wide open canopy above them, enough light that for a woodland edge, hedgerow context plant like a plum, they should be able to slowly but surely squeeze their way up. We're not in a rush. They can focus on getting their roots established for now, and then get up above the deer browse, above the nettles, and into the canopy next year. Here's the second plum, just to the north of that first one, with Biden's and nettles all throughout, and late season elecampane, looking a little haggard, but still there. It's another herbaceous perennial that we've never seen deer browse, and this has the added benefit of being a big taprooted plant, so we can cut these leaves as the season goes on. In fact, I'll chop and drop that, and those leaves will rot down and feed the root system of this young plum down in here, where the valerian, the nettles, the Bidens, the goldenrods, the other weeds, so to speak, are all there. And here's a persimmon just to the north of them, which would be the taller, more canopy tree. Now that sort of pattern plays out over and over and over again all through here. You would never know it, and in fact, I may even forget that I did it. But we also have goumis and autumn olives, black locust, seaberry, nitrogen-fixing support staff trees and shrubs that can help get these other plants up into the canopy. As a nursery, we can grow these trees out from seed and from cuttings, and we encourage you to think about doing that for yourself so you can afford the plant material to experiment. The more you can plant, the more densely, the more diverse, and the more wild and feral, the more likely it is that those plants can take off and become themselves without a lot of your intervention. Thanks for watching. I hope this has been helpful.